Oh, hello you guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. How's that for lighting? Hey, so something important I wanted to talk to you guys about. And that's well, first of all, welcome, what's up? What's up? My name's Keith. If you're new to the channel, take your shoes off, introduce yourselves. What's going on, you guys? Nice to see you. We talk about everything. Everything essential for the growth of the soul, the ascension or descension of the spirit, or what's a word for side ascension? We talk about ascension, we talk about descension, we talk about multiple ascensions. We talk about hair extensions, because that's a sort of ascension, extension, descension, ascension. Interesting. Never thought of that before. But activating. How is that for a trigger word in the spiritual community? Activate. How to activate your sacral chakra to have better sex and to last longer in bed. No, but seriously, one of my favorite things. This is one of my favorite things. I was just talking to. You guys know I'm doing one-on-ones now, right? You can see the one-on-one selection from my website, keythgarcia.com. Keyth Garcia.com. Anywho, I was talking to this gentleman, and the idea was, how does one not act like yourself? What up, Lemuria? How does one not act like yourself? And this gentleman was stuck in patterns. We all get stuck in patterns, but this guy was. There is a phenomena where we cannot not be ourselves. Whether how we move, how we act, what we say, how we react, whether we're acting passively in our feminine, whether we're acting actively in our masculine, we cannot not act like ourselves. And so, if, like, for example, if you were to watch yourself in a movie, say you watched your own highlight reel for the past week, you would start, or say your highlight reel for the past year, 5 years, decade, you would see patterns. Oh, that's my trigger. That gets me angry. That's what I do when I'm excited. That's what I do when I'm turned on, or I'm like overly sexually stimulated. That's how I get when I'm depressed, or I eat. You know what I mean? We have these patterns. Combination of, our environment as we grew up, and the environment of our mind, what we choose to read and speak about, so on and so forth. Well, a way around that, which is good. Like, we are who we are. Our soul, our identity is us. It's what makes us unique, and it's what makes us special. However, sometimes we want to act outside of ourselves. And this video that I'm making now is here to address that. If we access archetypes, we can allow ourselves to act outside of ourselves with ease. I mean, the archetypes that we choose, we always choose. We just normally do it subconsciously. So one could argue, hey Keith, even if you choose the archetype of Gandalf, that's still you acting as yourself. You're just, because it was your choice. Again, you can't get away from you. So what I was doing during the conversation, during the one-on-one with this guy, was I was giving him archetypes to follow. That way, we were getting as far away from his own choice as possible. And that's liberating. You know what I mean? Like, when we play video games, I tend to go dark side with most of the video games. I'm like, Darth Maul instead of Luke in Star Wars. Or I played this one game called Dante's Inferno, and I forgot who it was, but there's a, I believe it's a fall, the video game, there's a fallen angel, you go into hell and you go through the I forget how many levels there are to Dante's Inferno, but he goes through all of them, killing people, absolving souls or damning souls, and depending upon whether you'd come across a damned soul like Hitler or some other super villainous soul throughout history. You'd come up to him and he'd be a tortured, or she would be a tortured soul in one of these levels of hell. And you had the choice to either absolve this entity of its sins and release it to heaven, or damn it to an eternity in hell. And I was damning them more often than not. And what that did was I built a character tree, a skill tree based off of the dark side, because I was always damning people instead of absolving them. So I was a super powerful demonic entity on the dark side. Um, which is kind of cool because I'm not going to do that in real life. And so that's what we sort of. Video games are a good way to be people we're not. And I think that's why we like them so much. Like that Second Life or something like that. There's a lot of online games where you live your own world, and you do things that you wouldn't normally do in real life because you have less inhibitions, or there's less repercussions for your actions, etc., etc. So this video, I titled it, the greatest counselors are always at access, like Gandhi or Buddha or Jesus or Thoth, whoever whatever resonates with you, and you commandeer that character. You become, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would Jesus do? That is a Christian version of accessing an archetype so that you can do things that you normally wouldn't do, so that you could live the life that you normally wouldn't live. Like, in any situation, what would Jesus do? In any situation, what would Gandalf do? And if you want to go to the dark side, in any situation, what would Darth Vader do? Dark Sidious. What would these guys do? You know what I mean? It helps because a lot of the time, how we act is on override. We act mostly from the subconscious. Well, the conscious mind is the action, the active part of ourselves. The subconscious is the passive, but they work in unison, right? So whatever your subconscious mind is programmed with via the conscious mind is what's going to dominate your actions. It's what's going to dominate your thoughts. Of course, to make that move, you have to engage the active. Um, when you hit 30, you're pretty set. You're pretty set in your ways and in the direction that you're headed. Hypnotic rhythm, right? We learned this from Napoleon Hill's writings, especially The Devil Makes Three. We learned that when you're set in your ways, you're pretty much there. Um, unless, if you're tapping into the worlds like you and I are, where we're balls deep in philosophy and balls deep in Gnostic teachings and Buddhism and soul ascension and descension and accessing tulpas and entities and summoning our favorite deities to act on our behalf. Like, this is super active programming of the subconscious mind so that we can change how we think, how we feel, how we react. And by no means is it impossible to change who we are. It's just extremely difficult once that hypnotic rhythm has set in. Extremely difficult. Until you come across little life life hacks, like this. This is who does the heavy talking on this stuff? I believe it's Carl Jung who does a lot of archetype. I haven't read his stuff thoroughly though, so I don't know if he actually talks about engaging different archetypes to be a different person. I know he talks about the different archetypes, what they are in the hero and the villain, and what's the one for women? You have the maiden, you have the mother, and the crone. Right, those are three sort of generic archetypes for a woman. The maiden is the fair maiden, looking for her prince, and then you have the mother when she goes into motherhood, and you have the crone, which is the old wise woman, no longer able to give birth, but basically is the wisdom keeper of of a people, of a society. So those are archetypes. And by no means do you have to be an old woman to access the crone archetype. You don't have to be a mother bearing children to access the mother archetype. They're just generic. They're just labels for certain frequencies of energy that we can tap into at time. I'm sure that a man could even tap into the crone. Maybe. Of course, it would come more easily for a woman because biologically speaking, men and women are dominated heavily by the hormones that course through our blood. And if you don't think that your hormones are dictating beliefs, actions of your life, then you're a fool. Because the testosterone that your balls are pumping out into your bloodstream, or the estrogen that your ovaries are pumping out into your bloodstream, are 100% influencing your experience of this world. Influencing, right? Not controlling their, the. Anywho. So yeah, if you're having troubles, if you feel stuck, if you feel in a rut, or like me, I hit this dark, gloomy catechism. Catechism? Is that the word? What's the word for a deep, vast hole in the ground, endless pit? Chasm? I don't know. Anywho, I was sitting there one day going, "Fuck, I can never not be me," and it almost felt constricting, and I was getting claustrophobic. Oh my, how do I not be me? That's a strange thing. My my incantations, my incantations when I speak. The dynamics of how I speak and what I do and what I'm attracted to, and how I respond in certain situations. It's like I'm locked into Keith. So I got the tattoo on my arm that says "Under no enchantment but my own." That's sort of, all right, I'm not limited to a certain way or thing. But it was still Keith that made the decision to get the tattoo. So am I winning or not? You know what I mean? Anywho, keeps me up at night. No, but seriously, remember that. Remember that you can access basically any archetype you want, or you can access any teacher you want by accessing that archetype. You can access the knowledge of Buddha simply by saying, "What would Buddha do?" You know, and what resonates with you because it's the stuff that you've been studying for the past year, 2, 5, 10 years, however long you've been on this journey of, worldly discoveries and such. If not simply for fun. Like, you guys ever had partners and you pretend not to know each other and you go to a bar? Why do we do that? Why do we set up games with our significant other where we dress up and do role play? Babe, I want you to be the sexy French maid, or hey, honey, let's go to a bar and pretend like you don't know me and come hit on me. Like, why do we do shit like this? We do stuff like this because we want to be outside of ourselves. We are who we are every day of the every 7 days for 60, 70, 80 years, and that shit gets boring and monotonous. That's why the soul, that's why spirit itself manifests in so many different outlets. Spirit manifests itself as you, and spirit manifests itself as a rock. Spirit manifests as a thought that I'm having in this moment about what spirit can manifest itself as. Spirit manifests itself as a sun, or as a black hole, as a planet, or as the planet's ocean. You know what I mean? Thank God for the ability to have an infinite amount of different experiences. Thank God that we are able to have an infinite amount of experiences. This is why experience is said to be illusionary. Well, it's all an illusion, but what people are doing in the New Age movement and modern spirituality 99 times out of 100 is they're criticizing, they're criticizing illusions, and they're downplaying illusions as if illusions don't have importance, as if, oh, it's all an illusion, so it means nothing, which is bullshit. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, everything is an illusion, but it's an illusion because if everything was constant, meaning it was real, substantial, the underlining substantial, unchanging, right? Because illusions are things that are, if it's a candle one day and it's an apple the next day, is it really a candle? Is it really an apple? It's nothing. It's an illusion. And that's what everything is. I'm not going to always be here as you see me here today, so I'm sort of an illusion. Right? My thoughts are sort of an illusion. The earth is, you know what I mean? So, but that doesn't mean it's any less valuable or any less meaningful. You know what I'm saying? Um, if everything was real, unchanging, then you'd have one experience for eternity, which sounds like an awfully boring way to spend eternity. Like, imagine being a piece of paper for eternity. To be insane. No, of course not. It's just silly. So when people try to, belittle experiences by saying it's just an illusion, it doesn't mean anything. Time is just an illusion. All right. So does that mean you're not going to study time? You're not going to study what time is and what time represents, which is, you know, time is a thing that holds all experiences separate, so that we can have such thing as a concept of a past and future, so that we can have such thing as growth, right? Because there's no such thing as growth if there's no passing of time. And how much do you love growth? Do you like growing your YouTube channel? Do you like growing your Instagram? Do you like growing your brand? Do you like growing your home business? Do you like growing your soul? Do you like the pursuits of oneness? Because none of that's possible without illusions. None of that's possible without time, or none of that's possible without, a separation of experiences. Again, because you'd have nothing but oneness and sameness, and there would be no growth. There would be no pursuit of oneness without the separation of experiences. You know what I mean? So, access the access the arc. Sorry, guys, I'm counting seeds right now. We have frankincense seeds back on the Etsy shop. I just got a fresh harvest of frankincense seeds. For the love of God, go to Etsy and look for my shop. Don't type any of my shit into Google. Etsy are a bunch of bastards, you guys. If you're like, oh, Keith's, I want to buy some frankincense seeds from Keith's Etsy shop. And you go to Google and you're like, frankincense seeds, man of letters. And you click on that link. It charges me, I get hit like 18% off of my listing price. 5% their regular fee, and then 12% for offsite ads, which I can't turn off because Etsy is just a bunch of scam artists now. So I might have to get all my business on my website, which is up at keythgarcia.com. Anywho, has this been helpful? Has this been helpful, you guys? Like, I know I haven't read your comments yet, but what do you guys think? Do you guys have trouble accessing archetypes? Have you even thought of the possibility of accessing, even if it's a fictional character? You know what I mean? It all exists in our mind anyways. Who cares if it... You ever met fucking Gandhi? Have any of us ever met Jesus? No, so they might as well be fictional characters. They're all existing in our mind, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm counting seeds on a live right now, but I'll walk in like 5 minutes or so. Alright. Everyone slap the like button for your boy, pretty please, so we can get this video broadcasted. It says, Sea Flower, hello, alien heart, alien love, Sea Flower, you alien love woman. Shisin, am I pronouncing that right? How's it going? Lemuria, what's up, brother? Oh, hi, my love.
Hi, Daya.
What you doing? What you doing? Yeah, we're counting seeds on a live right now. We're talking about accessing archetypes. via incantations.
Daddy,
Yeah.
big mushroom.
Yeah, big mushroom.
Big mushroom.
It's a mushroom, yeah.
Small mushroom.
Mushroom.
Big mushroom.
Yeah, you got some food on your eyebrow.
Hi.
Atlas has come to share some things with us. What are you doing, my love? Hold on, I had a question that was a good one. Shall we use invocation as a means to help embody these archetypes? TM, use whatever you want.
Daddy.
Yes, love?
Oh, I don't forget the clothes.
Yes.
Oh no, no feather.
Twice this week. Yes, so we can use invocation to access the archetypes, Atlas. Basically, this is why we get our altars. This is why we have our Thoth statues, Atlas, our Thoth candles. So this is a sort of invocation of frequencies that we want to access in our life. We can have mushroom posters. This is a sort of, right? This is basically,
Daddy?
yes, my love?
I don't know because it goes to the watch.
Mowatch? Oh, yeah, that too. You got to use your imagination, my love. Whatever type of invocation you can think of is valid. Just make sure it's meaningful to you.
I don't think that was nothing.
Yes, that too. You got to be careful, though. You might go to jail for that.
Oh, it's a phone.
They have to catch you first, of course, definitely.
Uh-oh, and it's nothing.
I've done it a few times, but you know what I mean? I can't suggest that to you.
Daddy, I'm not found. Oh.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Peace out, Lemuria. Thanks for chilling, brother. Can you speak on maintaining the energy vibration of said archetype over longer periods, or making it a more permanent part of the self? Yes, absolutely. Yes, my love. Go play outside, baby. You want to say hi real quick? Atlas says hi, you guys. Why y'all wet? Yes. You look spooky with that light on your face like that. Say hi, Atlas. Yeah. Okay, go play in the backyard. Yes, to answer your question, can you speak on maintaining energy vibration to the archetype? Yeah. So, to maintain an archetype, my phone might die, you guys. If it's getting glitchy, it's because the battery's getting low. How are we doing on my battery life? Sorry, you guys. How's is it getting glitchy? I'll try to make this quick. Maintaining the archetype. So imagine your aura, the electromagnetic field that's produced from the heart. You got one in your brain, one in your heart. And it's sort of constantly broadcasting your EM field. The information in that EM field is like your baseline software, your base programming. It's sort of constantly emanating. Imagine that as that's like the feminine side, or the subconscious programming of something. So we program the subconscious with the conscious mind. For example, I can program my software, my base operating system. I can program that by actively choosing a book on astral projection. And so I'm actively seeking out books on astral projection. That's my active masculine side. What's happening is I'm programming my subconscious side, my receptive side, my subconscious, my base operating system. And so it's really hard to program. It's like water. It takes a lot of energy to heat water up. But once water is heated, it takes a lot of energy lost to cool the water. Right? So what happens is it's going to be really hard to program your subconscious mind with something, but once you finally do, it's going to stay for a really long time. Think of your habits. It's really difficult to develop a habit, but once you've developed it, it stays for a really long time. It's easy to build a habit, and it's difficult to break a habit. See the balance? And so when maintaining an archetype, we have to sort of go along the same lines. We have to do whatever the hell we can to program our subconscious mind with that new archetype, and involve as much sensory inputs as possible. You know, uh, tap into your smell, tap into your what you're seeing, tap into what you're hearing, what you're speaking, what you're feeling. Did I say feeling? All your senses, all your experiences, they must be overwhelmed with this archetype. The more senses you involve, the more powerful it is. The more you maintain those, the more powerful it is, and the more personal it is. The more it resonates with you, the more it's going to be programmed into your subconscious. Now, when you have built that new pathway into the subconscious, it will start to become you. It will no longer be this abstract archetype that you're trying to access. It will be something that you do. It will be a new skill that you have. And so what does that look like? Well, in the spiritual world, people like to do stuff like rituals or a mantra, or your daily affirmations is a type of programming. Your gratitude, your daily gratitudes, that's a type of programming. The books that you read are a type of programming. Candle magic is a type of programming. If you want to create your own damn tulpa, is a type of programming. So that's what it would look like in the spiritual world. But it's not limited to this. It's sort of, and if you're a business person, you're studying Tony Robbins, or you're studying Napoleon Hill, or you know what I mean. Everything, you know what I mean. It's not like it's difficult to embody an archetype. It's actually extremely simple. The difficult part is being conscious of that programming. Because the thing with the subconscious, with the feminine, is that it receives everything. Every impulse you get, your subconscious mind is taking in. That's why it's so easy to program you guys. That's why it's so easy to get you with ads. That's why it's so easy to get you to buy McDonald's. Us, I say you guys. That's why it's so easy for us to be persuaded, because it doesn't matter whether something is true or not, right? You've heard this. It doesn't matter whether something's true or not. If you are subjected to it long enough, you start to embody it. That's just a feature of the feminine. It's just a feature of the subconscious. It's a feature of passivity, is you are on the receiving end of things. It is the masculine energies aspect to make sure that we are guiding our subconscious towards things that are useful to us, that are going to program us in a way that is most beneficial for the direction that we want to go, for the life that we want to live. Even if we don't know the answers to those questions, we can at least give ourselves a direction. It's like, I don't know where I want to go, but I want to go towards Mars. Like, do you know? No, I want to go in that direction. Okay, cool. Well, then lock yourself on Mars so that you at least have a hierarchy of decisions. Like, hey, you're going towards Jupiter. You should probably reorient yourself towards Mars. Okay, sweet. Thanks for the heads up. That's right. I'm headed towards Mars because I think that's where I want to go. Whereas some people are like, it doesn't matter. It's all an illusion. No matter what decision I make, it's the right decision. And no matter where I'm at, it's where I'm supposed to be. And it's like, not really. Yes, but not really. You know what I mean? Because then you don't know. Then you're really fucked. If you hold the thought, it doesn't matter where you are, you're where you're supposed to be. If you hold that thought, then of course you're going to be confused all your goddamn life. Unless you want to be confused. But if you want, you know what I mean? So that's a whole different conversation that I probably should be careful with going on a tangent on. But Did I answer your question? I hope I answered your question. Hello, Vivian. I keep smelling like... You guys ever tried Yopo before? It's like a creamy, nutty smell. And I'm getting fat whiffs of it right now, and I don't know why. Don't know why. Richie, what's up, Richie? How's it going, brother? Yeah, so programming archetypes. Programming archetypes is simple. It's a good way to get outside of ourselves, even if you just want to have fun and have a different experience. Different, kids are great at this. Kids, I'm a pirate, Daddy. I'm a pirate. Kids running around like pirates, stabbing each other with wooden swords. That's embodying an archetype. Adults, like I said, it's just we solidify over time. Our personalities solidify, so it becomes more difficult. Our pineal glands start to become more friggin' calcified over time, so that sort of solidifies and inhibits our imagination. Because you guys got to remember, even Einstein said this. He talks about imagination and creativity is more important than intelligence, because there really is no one way to do things. Like, you ask me, hey Keith, how can we, how do we solidify these character traits so that we don't have to think about them, where they just happen? And it's like, theoretically, there's an infinite amount of ways to do that. It's up to you to find out which way is most resonant, which way is the funnest, which way is the easiest. Do you like video games? Do you like reading books? Do you like, what are you into? Your best bet to solidifying an archetype is to go, all right, well, what shit am I into most? Okay, then if I'm into it, then that means I'm going to find it entertaining. I'm going to enjoy doing it. I'm going to have fun doing it, which is half the battle, right? You want to make sure you're enjoying life. Okay, now you work on repetition, and it's repetition, and then next thing you know, you're no longer having to think about the archetype. You are now it. And that process looks different for everyone, and that's why I had so much fun the other day working with that client. It was because it was like I got to learn about a different sort of experience. I'm like, what are you into, man? So it was a conversation, and we were able to develop this entity that this man wanted to become, where it was him 2.0. It's like, all right, let's create the you. Let's create like a hologram of you 2.0. What do you want it to look like? How do you want it to shine? How do you want it to feel? How do you want it to go forward through the world? Okay, dope. We have this hologram. Now, how do we transfer your consciousness into that hologram? How do we shed you and step into the new one? Again, it looks different for every person. Takes a little bit of imagination, a little bit of creativity, a lot of will, an extreme amount of will, extreme amount of patience. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Kefi Sibanda. Oh, if you guys want to hit me up for one-on-ones, keythgarcia.com. I got the website up. KEYTH Garcia.com. That's up. We're live on the website. Let's see. Hold on. Bless up. Good share. Programming archetypes. A solid share. Remember to breathe. Ooh. Everyone, breathe. On 3. 1, 2. Deep through the nose. Sit straight. Straighten the spine. Relax your shoulders. Chin down a little bit into the nose. Thank you for the reminder, Richie. Appreciate that. I needed that, actually. How do you feel about the burden that comes with fulfilling your destiny or potential? How do I feel about the burden? I feel burdens are necessary, but we have to be careful. We just have to be mindful of the burden that we're carrying, If this video cuts out, it's because my phone died. Some burdens we carry, we don't need them. Some burdens we carry, we should ask help for. Some people would be happy to help us with our burdens. Some people find our burdens fun and handle our burdens, you know, in their spare time as a game. You know what I mean? Burdens are there to strengthen us. I'm growing plants in this grow tent right here. I have a fan blowing constantly on the plants. And the reason why is because if there's no wind hitting a plant, there's no resistance, the burden is resistance, then the plant doesn't develop thick cell walls. And so what happens is, instead of being a nice, thick, healthy trunk on the plant, built up from the burden of wind, it's a really tiny, narrow trunk with a really tall plant. And the plant breaks, it collapses under its own weight because it's not strong enough to carry its own weight because it was never burdened with the resistance of wind, right? So our burdens make us stronger. Like, without your burdens, you're not going to ascend, you're not going to learn, you're not going to grow properly, at least. So when you ask me how I feel about the burden of quote-unquote destinies, my answer is just make sure that you're carrying the right load. You know what I mean? Make sure that your burden is actually one that's meaningful to you, that you feel you didn't take on from someone else, that you didn't absorb from your community or from the television or from movies or from me, shit that you see online. Just make sure your burden is a sincere and genuine one. Know thyself, as the ancient Greek philosopher once said. Know thyself, and enjoy yourself. Know thyself and have fun, man, woman, entity. Thank you for the links, Richie. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for supporting the Etsy. Thank you guys for supporting the Patreon. If you would like to support the channel and the things that we do in the audiobooks that we make, you can support the Patreon, which is patreon.com/Keith Garcia. I believe that's in the video description. Thank you guys for the support. I appreciate the hell out of you. Kefi. What kind of emoji is that? Oh, a handshake. I thought it was a turkey. It's like, a turkey? I like your style, Kefi. Handshake works too. Well, fist bump. Fist bump looks better on... Looks like I'm jacking off an elephant when I try to do the air handshake, so we'll just do the air fist bump. I gotta go check on the babes, though. He's literally sprinting back and forth inside. I can hear him. And my phone's gonna die. So... stay tuned for the release of the Emerald Tablets. There's 12 people in the room right now. I swear to God, all 12 of you better be reposting the Latin Emerald Tablets that I post in about a week from now. I swear to God, you better. This video is going to be hitting 1 million views, you guys. However, I need your help. Tremendous amount of help is needed from you guys. Oh man, please, for the love of all that is holy and unholy, if you could share the Latin tablets that I put out in about a week, oh man, it would put our channel on the map. So thank you guys. Thank you, Seaflower Fox. You know, Fox is Fox is my spirit animal. I'm so glad you put that, Seaflower. I was on a healthy dose of ayahuasca one time in the mountains, and I turned into a fox. It was the craziest thing. I'll never forget that. I didn't talk about archetypes. I didn't see myself as a fox, but I like my mannerisms and my thought process and the way I moved and crawled. I was a fox, man, and I was just this. It was crazy. Anywho, yeah. So me and foxes got a thing. Thank you, Richie, for sharing all the paraphernalia, man, and thanks for reminding us to breathe. Cockney Sparrow, bring them on. Hell yes, bring them on. I'm gonna post another video today, so you guys stay in touch. Stay tuned into that frequency, that letter's frequency. Love you guys. Thanks. Peace out.